Nina Park inspired makeup has quietly become my biggest theme for 2025. I started recreating hair looks back in April last year simply because I just admired her style, and along the way I learned a thing or two. Today I'm showing you my take on this Addison Rae makeup look, also done by Nina Park. Alright, so let's jump right into it. And I will not be touching my hair anymore. To prep my skin I use this glazing milking essence, and I got it recently and I must say I really like it. It does make your face a little bit more grippy for your makeup. That's what I used before. You really need to wait for a moment and let it sit on your face, so this is exactly what I did, a part of my normal skincare before. Her skin is quite matte and I feel I will go straight away with concealers. I will use some Kosas concealer and some Haus Labs concealer. So the concealer, I will start placing it a little bit lower, not super close to my eyes, kind of when I have this redness and a little bit of this shadow going from my eye. And I also use this brightener. This is just because I like it. No real reason for this, I just like the look of it, and I will just put a little bit here. Something like that. Before I blend this out, I will straight away apply a little bit of this bronzer. Rather thin layer of everything. Oh my god, why did I get it again in my hair? Tiny bit here, here. And as you could see, I didn't dip again the bronzer. This is all it was on like one wand to not over apply it. To blend everything in, I will take a little bit of this Dior foundation, like really not a lot. This is just to make the blend easier. And this color is tiny bit darker than I am right now, so I will keep it mostly on the outer of my face. So where I have this bronzer. And I'm using a smaller brush just to have a little bit more precision. When I have the concealer, I am dabbing a little bit more to not smudge out the concealer too much. For my nose, I'm adding a little bit more foundation because my nose is usually the most difficult for me to apply makeup in a way that it doesn't look like I have a lot of makeup there, and still like keeping it quite covered because my nose is red. It's always more red than the rest of my face, so this is my struggle. A little bit more foundation, and I'll blend this bronzer out. And I'm using the foundation for that, just to make this blend easier and more cohesive. Okay, and this is like the last of the foundation that I had. And here, to be more precise, just like that. I would also bring this foundation down my neck, so everything is the same color. And just like I said, my nose, for me, it's a personal thing. I think it's always looks red, so I will be just using one of this really nice olive tone from this palette. I just on my sides, and like this is uniquely for my nose, and this might be like my specific thing, but wherever I see the redness, this a bit darker olive tone really blocks it nicely. Actually, I'll do it also a little bit here. And we will come to that to cover some of my blemishes. This is like a really high coverage concealer palette. And I will just blend everything with the sponge. And I think this is something that is very characteristic for her makeup, is everything is just blended beautifully together. And I think my assumption is that she is using a lot of these sponge, probably brushes and sponges. I really love to leave my face for a moment and not powder straight away. And I know the products that I just used are allowing that. And with this time, I will do my eyebrows. And her eyebrows are quite dark, just like mine are a bit are a little bit darker than my hair. So I will just fill it out with one color, and I will be using this NYX brow pencil. Usually I am using two colors for my brows, which is this lighter one from Maybelline and the next one. Today I will just use only this one. And I will just fill it out where I have some gaps, nothing major. I feel like Nina Park created so many good looks this past year. A few of them I recreated on TikTok, but this Addison Rae, truly one of my favorite, and I just didn't see a lot of people recreating that makeup online. Brush it out, and then I will set the brows with the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I will gently brush them up on the end to the side. I have this little break in this eyebrow, and I always think I need to add a little bit more. Let's go back to the face and finish the blush. So I will be using those two mauvey blushes. They have quite different finish. This one is a little bit more matte and more color. This one is more sheer and more glossy finish. So I want to mix them, but they are pretty much like very similar in color. I'm pretty sure I read that Addison is using Giorgio Armani one, which I don't have, but I will use this one. I think they will be pretty similar in shade. So her placement is quite high, and what is also very characteristic to Nina Park makeups is that the blush is really there a little bit, but not so much, like it's very subtle. I will just keep it right here. It goes down a little bit, and then definitely they need to be connected a little bit on the nose. And Addison has beautiful freckles on the nose, so I will add few freckles. I will just use few with the eyebrow product. I also have this marker that I usually use for the freckles. I'll just use a little bit, so I mark it on my finger just like that. So I will keep it like where she has them, and yes, they are quite intense at first, but they fade away with time. And I will also scrub them. Let me keep it like that for now, and I will add a little bit more concealer where I need it. And with this palette, I will just add it a little bit to this pimple that I have here. It's under my hair, but I know it's there. And in general, on other pimples like this one, I would just use my finger. With the freckles, you really have to trust the process, so I will leave them on for a little bit longer, and then I will start with the powder. So first, under my eyes, I am using this by Terry powder. This is just the lightest, the most flattering looking powder that I have ever used. I'll use it mainly in my T-zone, and you will see my face getting set, but not looking unnatural or too powdery. For the outer edges of my face, I'll use the Makeup by Mario powder, not too much. I will just lightly set everything. Now coming back to my freckles, I am taking the spoolie and I'm just slightly removing them. So what had happened is that they're still there very lightly, but the main henna is just scraped off. And this truly gives you the most natural looking freckles. And if needed, I'm just adding a few more. For the eyes, let's go finally to the eyes. And what I did is just I applied a little bit of powder on my eyelids, and then I'm gonna use this palette, and mainly I would say those three colors, the gray being the main ingredient here, but also those supporting colors, this one and this one. I will be mixing them all to blend the colors nicely together. So let's start with the lightest one, and I will just use it all over here on my eyelid. The same on this eye. And applying just different colors in the same color story but different intensity just really helps you melt and blend the colors together. So I'll also take this lighter color under, and it already creates this really subtle shadow. And on the same, this is quite fluffy brush, I will just take the darkest one, so the gray one, but I'll just try to coat it evenly and try it first on my hand, taking out the excess and most of this color. And right now I can go straight away here and I'm keeping it, and I will apply it closer to the lash line but also here on the outer edge to prolong a little bit the eye shape. Very subtle. A little bit into the crease, something like that. I don't really want a powerful color here. And I'll do the same on the other eye. Those brighter colors really similar to my skin tone, and I am just blending around my eye where I applied the gray shadow just to blend everything further together. And now I will bring this middle shade. I really want to add some shadow in here. Before I will go any further, I will curl my lashes and then tightline my eyes. And I think this is another signature technique from Nina Park to just tightline your eyes. For that I will be using this liquid liner in the color black, stumping away. You can see now what difference it brought to my eye. This one is tight lined and this one is not. Defined it really beautifully, and as I said, this is the technique that Nina Park uses a lot, if not on all of her makeups. So before I do liner, I'm applying mascara first. It just helps me with the direction of the liner and how is it gonna look exactly when my lashes are already coated. And for this look I am also coating a little bit the lower lashes. Personally, I am not a fan of that look on my lashes, but I will do it for this makeup. I will take this tiny little brush with this dark gray color and I will just run it through my lashes here. With the same small brush, I'm just doing it on here just to smoke the eye a little bit more. And I am adding the shadow really on the outer edge, like this 1/3 of the eye here. For the liner, I'm gonna use this gray pencil by Eldridge in the color Cinder Smoke. And just to have a little bit more precision, I'm gonna apply it with the brush. And I'm also keeping the wing only in like 1/3 of my eye. I'm not really going fully in here. Since I already tight lined, I don't really need to do that. And the pencil just gives this softer look. And this pencil is really great. It stays for a long time. It's super creamy. Having now this liner, I can really see if I want to smoke out my eye more or not. I'm just gonna apply it a little bit more in here. And with that we can go to lips. So I will first take this little shadow stick and I will contour my lips with it. This is actually the product that Nina Park used on the makeup for Mia Goth, which Clio was so nice to send me all of the products that she used, so I can exactly recreate her makeup, which was really cool. But this just really helps me line my lips better, and this gives this really beautiful blurred look to the lips without actually looking crazy. I find that some bronzers can be just too intense, and I feel like this one is just the perfect color. So I line my lips just like that, but I also blend everything with my finger. You can see the shadow is there, but it's very subtle. Then I'm gonna use one of my favorite lip liners, which is Tilbury. This is the pillow talk, the original pillow talk. And this is just like the first layer for the lips. And because of this first layer of shadow, it really helps me to guide my lip liner a little bit better. I can kind of see better the volume of my lips, and I just love that. Then I'm gonna go with this more mauvey color. This is Soar from MAC, and I think I'll just apply it all over. I just love how this is turning out. Now that my lip liner is on, then I will apply the lipstick. This is Lisa Eldridge lipstick in Velvet Rain, and I will just dab. This is also a really nice mauvey pink, but a little bit more vibrant. And the last step for the lips is gonna be a little bit of this tint, a really nice nudie tint. And I just apply a little bit. So yeah, this is how this makeup turned out. I also really like the mauves on myself, so I am a fan of this look. This is how I would recreate this makeup. I hope you like this makeup and this video, and hopefully see you at the next one.